He's everywhere. But we are getting ready for our next class, and Jay DeJesus is working on shoulder strength, mobility, and health. And he has a lot of experience in this because he's injured his shoulder quite a bit. So we are excited to have Jay get our class. I'm just doing a little bit of an intro. If you haven't been to CoFIT-20 before, welcome and thank you. We encourage you guys to share the event so that more people can take advantage of it. But my name's Todd Robbins. I'm a physical therapist. I own Robbins Rehabilitation East. And we put these series of classes together so that like people that are at home or on quarantine can still be active, moving, and healthy, and we can connect with them. So it's really just it's a gift to our patients. We've been in practice for 16 years, and we love our patients. They're the reason why we're still here. So like we are giving this information out to everyone so that they can use it during these times. So thank you for coming. And if you know anyone that'd be interested in this stuff, or anyone has shoulder problems, particularly for today, please share our video and our post. And we're also going to be keeping these, we're setting up a spot on our website where we can have all of them. So you can go back and do them. So Jay's going to give you some stuff today where you can do different activities and you can repeat this kind of like over and over again while you do it. So again, what I want to do is here's my brief medical disclaimer. This is an important part of it. Guys, again, if you are having pain or problems while you're doing some of these activities with Jay, that's a sign that something is not going right in your body, and I really recommend you see a medical professional. Good news is we are medical professionals, so that is we're here for you. So if you live locally near our 3 offices, we're in Easton, Pennsylvania, Phillipsburg, and Lebanon, New Jersey. So you can actually schedule an appointment with us. We are open. I'm treating patients here today. There's some over there, along with my buddy Skelly right here. So yeah, we're in the office today. But if you're having problems while doing some of these activities that Jay is going to go through with you, please give us a call. For everyone that joins the CoFIT-20 class and participates, we offer free evaluations for you guys. So we can take a look at everything. There's no like obligation or insurance or money. We just want to kind of help you out and make sure you're getting through this stuff. So you can call our number 908-454-2404 and schedule a free evaluation with us. So here's my son Price. He's this last week of homeschool, so he's hanging out with me in the office today, so we're having fun. Yeah. Also, all of the information that we're putting out here, guys, is not like direct medical advice. It's educational. All right. So if you're having any problems or trouble with anything that you're doing, again, I really encourage you to reach out to your physician or to us. You can kind of come see us. So without further ado, we're going to get on to Jay's class today. He has a great series of shoulder movements and exercises to help everyone out at home. So we are going to transition over to that video. If you have any questions, we're going to be watching the video. You can comment on there and ask questions, and then we'll be able to respond to those. Are you going to respond to any questions?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. He's a physical therapist in training, so we'll respond to all the questions. But I really hope you enjoy the class. Jay is a great therapist, and you're going to get a lot of information. Please share it with people today. And without further ado, we're going to send it off to Jay, and he is going to do our shoulder activities today. So thank you very much. Share the event, and thank you for coming for CoFIT-20.
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Robbins Rehabilitation East CoFIT-20 lunch with you guys. We're glad to have you tuning in once again to our class. And today's topic is going to be on the shoulder joint, shoulder strength, stability, injury prevention, and if possible or if needed, injury recovery. My name is Jay. I'm a physical therapist assistant here in the Phillipsburg and the Easton offices, and you may have seen me, we may have worked together, we may have not, but I want to pass on to you a lot of things that I've learned through working with you guys, through my schooling, and through my injury recovery, because I have had a bunch of injuries to my shoulders, and I want to make them better and want to impart to you guys what I've learned through my career and my career as a bicycle racer in staying strong, stable, and healthy with my joints and shoulders. So again, my name is Jay, and I want to teach you guys about the shoulder. So we're going to focus on some strength, stability, recovery, and injury prevention protocol. And we're going to do the shoulder today because the shoulder is a very dynamic joint. It has a ton of range of motion, and to get that range, it can be inherently unstable and kind of vulnerable, and then sort of tough to rehab if and when it does get injured. So we want to make sure that we keep our shoulders strong, stable, and healthy for all of our activities, our sports, our everyday life. We want to make sure we're in good shape. So it's a very common thing to injure. The shoulders are a ball and socket. So again, there's a socket and the ball of the shoulder, and they work together, and the shoulder rotates around, the ball rotates around that socket. Unlike the hip, which is a true ball and socket, the shoulder is kind of more like a ball and a saucer. It's not so deep, and the ball is actually bigger than the socket or the saucer itself. So there's some mechanics and some soft tissues in here that keep it all together. So there's strength and stability that are important here. The strengthening comes from the big muscles like our deltoids, our trapezius muscles, all the big mechanical movers of the shoulders. Conversely, there are deeper stabilizer muscles that keep this thing in its approximation or in its perfect place where it needs to work and work out of. What we don't want is an unstable shoulder that's going to deviate. When the big muscles move the arm, we want that shoulder to be stable with the stabilizer muscles. So this ball stays nicely in the socket in the right place, and the ball doesn't deviate with motion. That can lead to pain. Instability can lead to pain, weakness, and more injuries, which would be unfortunate. So we want to keep everything nice and intact, strong, stable, and healthy. Again, for your sports, for your activities. So again, there's a lot of mechanics involved, a lot of muscles, the pectoralis muscles, lots of muscles that move things around. So again, the pain and strength and stabilization kind of balance. When we have stable shoulders, we can move them all around. When they're unstable, they can get painful. And we can lose function, we can lose range of motion. All this lovely range that we need to have can get a little bit lost and limit us. Conversely, or as well, our sockets are not 90 degrees to the body. They're kind of at a 45-degree angle. So most of the work that we do with our arms and hands is in front of the body, overhead, to the sides. Very little is behind us. So we're always working here. And there's a lot of things that kind of get us into what we call, because of a lot of use, forward flex postures. So also with this shoulder health, we want to promote nice upright posture. We drill posture, posture, posture for keeping us healthy, balanced, and strong, and keeping our neck muscles in check, keeping our headaches in check. So we want to stress posture. Forward flex posture from driving, computer working, playing with our phones. Everything we do in front of the body can lead to the roll forward shoulders, roll forward neck, and it's just kind of not a great place to be. So we want to have nice shoulder drop, shoulder retraction, chin retraction, a nice straight spine. Very good posture also helps, or also comes from our shoulder health, our functionality, our range of motion. All of this stuff contributes to keeping us strong, healthy, supple, stable, and strong for our activities. So we're going to do a bunch of stuff today to help promote that. I'm going to show you guys some exercises to do, some stretches, and everything we're going to do here can be kind of done with household stuff. I'm not using an extravagant weight setup. we've got a door with a handle and some stretchy bands, which you can get. If you don't already have them, you can get them at your local retailer when they open up again, or online, or if you're in therapy, or just ask us and we can help you get set up with those. Stretchy bands are a good thing to have because they can keep you working and keep you healthy. And again, you don't need a ton of stuff. For some of the weightlifting, we can use soup cans, bricks, cinder blocks, your cat, your kids, whatever you want to lift to give you some resistance, and we can work with that. So again, we want to be strong. We want to prevent injury. If we do get injured through therapy and through your own therapy and your homework, we can work back from the injury. We can work back to our ranges of motion and get us back to being functional and back to our sports or back to our activities, our work, whatever we're suffering from or suffering without being able to do. So another thing I want to touch on, a lot of people you will see with tape, and I am unfortunately having to use some supportive athletic tape or kinesio tape right now. It's not a cure, but is a helpful aid to kind of get the process going. About 8 weeks ago, I was racing my buddies on my bike and I hit a tree and I separated my shoulder pretty badly. And the tape was helping me facilitate things to get things rolling again, to get me back to my rehabilitation. So I'm able to still do my work. I can treat and I can keep things going with my strengthening, my stretching, and a little bit of help with the tape. So that tape is an aid as well. Okay, so that's our talk about the mechanics, the strength versus the stability, the joint mechanics, and what holds it there. So I want to touch on the stability stuff first, because we want to have a nice, stable ball and socket relationship and strengthen that before we get into the big mechanical movers of the shoulder. We want to get this thing not deviating or bouncing around in the socket. It's got to be nice and planted because we want to decrease pain and keep it strong. Stability work is something we want to work on whether we're injured or not. It's a very good thing to do. So the first thing I want to work on, if you have had an injured shoulder, the first thing we're going to have you do are isometric exercises. So that's engaging the muscle, but not really moving it through a range of motion. So that's to help initiate the strengthening, re-initiate the working of the muscles and getting them active and firing again. So there's 4 motions we want to do with the isometric exercise for shoulder health. So it's front, back, inside, and outside. So we're going to find a doorway or something we can push against, and we're going to have our arm bent at 90 degrees. And we're just going to push against the door. So we're just engaging the muscle enough to initiate some strengthening here. And we're going to hold that for about 10 seconds. So again, you don't need a whole lot of props here, but we're going forward. I'm not leaning into this. Finding the contact, and then I'm pressing with my arm. I'm using my shoulder rotator cuff muscles to engage. So that's forwards, and then I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to find the contact, engage my core a little bit, and press backwards for 10 seconds. Please try that out. Find a wall, try out the backwards. And then we want to, again, keep the 90-degree angle. We're going to press inside for 10 seconds. And then I'm going to press away for 10 seconds. So that's an isometric exercise. The arm wasn't moving. We're pushing against a static non-moving object, and that's a low-level, non-range of motion move to initiate some strength on a freshly kind of injured or freshly recovering joint. And all the four major motions that the rotator cuff uses to hold that thing in nice stable approximation in the joint. The rotator cuff is really what holds that shoulder from flopping out. So we got to go and get strong in forwards, backwards, inside, and out. So keeping it nice and strong. The next exercise we want to do is a posterior shoulder exercise that's going to help set up my posture as well as helping to strengthen the back of the shoulder. So this one, all you're going to need is a stretchy band. It's a TheraBand. It's a fairly light resistance, and we want to set this up with good posture. And we call it no money, because what do you have when there's nothing in your pockets? No money, right? So we want to, that's what we call this one, so you can remember it easily. So your palms are facing up. You've got a 90-degree angle in your elbows. Elbows are tucked in to your sides. I'm going to pull my chin back and have a nice posture with this. And I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades and rotate my arms out. I'm not pulling my elbows away from the body and keeping everything nice and tucked in. Squeeze my shoulder blades, pull my chin back, holding my core nice and tight, holding that for 10 seconds, and relaxing. So again, it's a stretchy band, posterior shoulder stabilization, strengthening with a nice chin retraction for the posture. Another really good exercise to initiate stability in the shoulder before we get to the higher level exercises. So that's a good exercise to do, the no money. All you need is a nice firm stretchy band, and we usually do these for about 10 seconds, 10 times, and you can keep ramping it up from there as you get stronger and stronger. You'll be surprised how fast this comes back together. And by the way, this is a lot of information. You can always go back. If you go to the YouTube channel for Robbins Rehabilitation East, you'll find the CoFIT-20 series and a whole bunch of other free information out there for you guys. So make sure you check it out. There's all the other classes we've uploaded so far, aside from this one. Okay, the next exercise is a little bit, the next two are a little bit more dynamic. These are higher level stabilization exercises. These are with a pretty light band. So the first one is called a standing reactive press. I've got a sport cord. You can use a stretchy band, and I've got it attached to a door handle, so you can do these wherever you can do it in the house. You don't need massive gym equipment to do this stuff. So I'm going to start with my elbow tucked to the side. The resistance is going straight across my shoulders. Got a little bit of resistance. I'm standing tall. I got my posture. My chin is retracted, and I'm going to push my arm straight forward. So now the resistance is trying to pull me in because of the band is tightening. I'm going to bend my arm, keeping my elbow high. So now the band is not only trying to pull my arm in, it's trying to rotate it down. I'm resisting that, or I'm reacting to that. And then from there, I'm going to go overhead. So my body is reacting, or my shoulder is reacting to all the different angles of these maneuvers or positions. And so we call this the standing reactive shoulder press. What it's doing is it's winding up and strengthening the muscles through all these ranges of motion and different angles. It's a very good stabilizer. You'll be surprised, A, how effective this is, and B, how exhausting it can be. It's a really good one to do. You don't need a lot of weight, but you want to do this to muscular endurance fatigue. So you can do 10, 15, 20 of these things. Do it till it gets tired. It's going to get achy and tired because we're stabilizing the joint. We're making the shoulder muscles that hold this thing in place strong and have lots of endurance. Again, we're going to go straight forward. We're going to bend the elbow. We're going to go overhead, coming back to elbow straight ahead, straightening the arm, and coming straight back. So that's the standing reactive shoulder press. Again, all these exercises are at Robbins Rehabilitation East, CoFIT-20 on YouTube. Check it out. So that's a sideways resisted exercise for sort of the lateral shoulder. And now I'm going to do one for the back of the shoulder. So I'm going to, again, start with a flat elbow. I'm going to pull out to the side this time. I'm not retracting behind the body. I'm pulling to the body. I'm going to raise the elbow. I'm going to crank it up like a bicycle crank. Now it's really getting resistance. And then I'm going overhead. And then I'll come back, down, and forward. That's my series. I'm going to pull it out to the side. I'm going to crank it up like a bicycle, and then reach overhead, coming back down, wind it down, and go forward. This is called the Statue of Liberty. Again, pulling out to the side, cranking it up, going overhead, and then unwinding it back down, back forward, and to my starting point. So that's a rear strengthening exercise that, again, is winding up the strength to our shoulder. We want to wind up and engage all these 4 stabilizer muscles in these different planes of motion, different angles of motion, different resistances, and it's getting everything engaged and really strong and stable. Household stuff. You guys can do this at your house. So those are the 4 really good base stabilizers I like to use. The in and out, front and back, the no money exercise, and the 2 overhead reactive presses. They're really, really, really good ones because they're going to help stabilize that shoulder. Okay, we want to move on to some strengthening stuff, and we can do these with kind of household stuff. First one being the overhead press, and there's 2 ways we're going to do this. I have some kettlebells. You can do this with big cans of beans, with bricks, cinder blocks, whatever you got. But we want to stabilize that shoulder. So if you have anything to hold on to, grab them. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 2 types of overhead presses here, and we're going to use what I call an open book and a closed book position. What does that mean? We're going to bring the arms up. This is our closed book position, and we have an open book position. So this is a pretty advanced maneuver for the arm. So you want to make sure your shoulder stability is topped off with this one, so you're nice and strong. This is for when you're real stable. We're going to start with a closed book, and we're just going to press straight overhead. Really works the big shoulder mechanizing muscles now. We're really moving the big muscles, the deltoids. You can have really strong arms, strong posture, and you look great for the summer. So that's the closed book position. This is open book, slightly different exercise, but very important to do. I've got my arms out to the side. I'm working on the range of motion and the stretch in my chest as well. So I'm out to the sides of the arms, and I'm keeping them wide. I'm pressing up overhead and coming back down wide. You don't want to deviate this and come forward. You want to keep it as wide as possible, but you don't want to go really behind the head. Keep it in line and wide. These get pretty exhausting, so listen to the body and use whatever weight is comfortable. Start at a weight that you can do around 10 or 15 with going overhead, and work from there. It's a good place to start for strengthening. And that's the open book and the closed book overhead press. You can use whatever you have. These are 10-pound kettlebells, and I'm holding them. We call this bottoms up. So it's the most unstable way. These things are meant to kind of shake around. They make you have to use your stabilizer muscles as well. If you hold them that way and brace it against your wrist, it's going to be a little bit more stable. So that sort of brings it down a little bit. The bottoms up is a really good advanced high-end topping off of your shoulder strength and stability. Okay, another exercise is the lateral raise. So this is for these big lateral deltoids. So great stuff to get you rolling for summer as well. It'll look good. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with 90-degree elbows. We're going to hold our core posture nice and tight and start with a weight that's comfortable to you to do 10, 15, 20 reps with. Keeping this 90-degree angle, we're going to just hold our shoulders down. We don't want to hike the shoulders. We want to lift up to the side, driving with the shoulders. A nice controlled motion out to the side. So if you have soup cans, whatever you got, this is a good exercise to do. So try a couple of these, even if you're doing it with no weight. It's a good exercise to strengthen the shoulders, only if your stability is topped off. So you want to make sure you do the stability series as well. Make sure you go back and watch this video, watch all of our videos, and just make sure you do them correctly. Okay, that is the lateral raise. We want to work on the back side of the shoulder, strengthening that as well. Posterior shoulder posture. Why is that? Again, we do a lot of stuff in front of the body. We kind of shorten down here as we work in front. We want to open that up again and get nice and extended muscles here and strong, stable posture with our upright cervical spine. So I've got another band here hooked onto my door handle, and we're going to do two exercises here for the posterior shoulder. These are called rows and extensions. The first one is just a simple row, like you're rowing the boat, or as Todd likes to say, wowing the horses. We're going to start with a little bit of tension. I'm going to retract or pull my shoulders back, squeezing my blades, and then I'm going to pull my elbows back, getting a good cervical posture and a big squeeze with the shoulder blades. We're looking for that nice upright posture and a good scapular shoulder blade squeeze. Again, we're going to do all of these for about 10 seconds, 10 times. And please make sure you have a good attachment point for your stretchy bands. You don't want to get whacked by your stretcher band coming back at you. You'll be a YouTube sensation. So that is the row. That's a bent elbow coming back, squeezing the shoulder blades. Another very important posterior shoulder stabilizer and strengthener is the extension. So I'm going to keep my arms nice and straight. I'm going to pull my shoulders straight back behind my body, holding my core posture, holding my shoulder blades squeezed back together. My elbows are straight. It's like we're pushing water behind the body. So again, we hold all of these for about 10 seconds, 10 times, and it's a very good posterior shoulder stabilizer. Another posterior shoulder exercise I would like to do with you, you can do, we call them our prone angels. So laying on your stomach, grab some weights. If you don't have any weights, maybe grab a couple of cans of tomato sauce. We're going to come onto our table. We'll get flat. We're going to hold our arms out to the sides, and we're going to reach forward and back. Forward and back. These are 15 pounds, and I can't reach overhead because I'm not quite strong enough yet with my arm to take the 15-pound overhead on the left side. So I kind of overshot with my weight because I just grabbed the brightest ones so you can see them. So don't overshoot. You can do this with no weight at all. You're starting at the hips, and you're keeping them. You can do this on the floor if you have to. We're keeping the shoulder blades pulled back, and we're just reaching out, coming overhead, and coming all the way back. It's really going to help with your range of motion too. And again, we're making really stable shoulders. You're getting lots of scapular motion, which is important for the total body, total movement of the arm. You're getting really supple scapula. Okay. And the last thing I want to show you guys for strength and stability is a plank. And there's a couple ways to do that. So this is just it's a very basic but really good exercise to do because you can always kind of increase the tension and the work on this. So you can do this on the floor on a yoga mat. Nice stable perch. And you can do it from the knees if you want. And we're just gonna push up into a press of the plank. My elbows are stacked underneath my shoulders, and we're just holding there with our core nice and tight. If we want to advance this maneuver, we can reach forward. Try that out. Come into your plank from knees, stable core, straight back. You're really drawing your belly button in with this one. Reaching forward, using your core, reaching back. Try and stay as level as possible with the shoulders. So again, we've got a stable core. I'm retracting my chin. I'm reaching forward. I'm holding with the core, coming back, reaching forward with the core, coming back. It's a tough one. I want to increase it more. You can come up to your toes, reaching forward, reaching back, reaching forward, reaching back. That's what we call a closed pack position, we're stabilized in that joint. We're up on top of it, but it's really stable in the socket, while this one is moving. So a lot of pretty tough stuff there for you guys. So we've kind of moved through a lot again. It's a lot of information, a lot of exercises. So make sure you go to Robbins Rehabilitation East on YouTube and look for the CoFIT-20 series that Ryan uploaded. He does a good job, and you'll be able to see and review all of these exercises. So check those out. Now I want to show you guys a couple of quick stretches because they're important. With all the strengthening, all strengthening is shortening of muscles. We want to lengthen as well. So the first one I want to show you is a cross-body stretch. For all that posterior shoulder stuff we did, we want to make sure we're letting it relax and get long as well. So you can put your arm out in front of you. Try this out. We're going to pull our elbow across the body and just kind of yank into that. So I'm stretching the rhomboids, trapezius muscles of my right arm. I'll go to my left arm. I'm going to straighten the elbow. I'll pull it across and then assist with my other arm. And what I'm trying to do as I'm doing this stretch is, as I'm coming forward and pulling, I'm not pulling the shoulder forward. I'm kind of like pulling it back and getting a good stretch. So again, I'm not going forward with the shoulder. I'm coming up and coming across, but I'm pulling back to get that stretch. After that, take your broomstick or whatever you got, and so if you have something, grab it real quick. And we're going to do this in 3 different positions for the shoulder. We're going to start wide. Our palms are facing forward. And I'm simply just going to keep the elbows straight, and I'm going to pull straight back. I'm not leaning forward. I want to stretch the anterior shoulder. So the front of the shoulder. I'm pulling back with nice posture, tall and proud. I'm not leaning forward with hands wide. Hold that for about 30 seconds. Good job, because I know you're doing it. Then we're going to bring the hands in a little bit closer, and just the same thing. We're not leaning forward, we're just pulling straight back, getting a good stretch in the front of the shoulder, maybe extend the wrists a little bit. And then the last one is just hands real close together, pulling straight back. Always holding these stretches for at least 30 seconds, up to a minute if you can. 3 positions: wide, middle, and close. So from there, we want to do an internal and external rotation stretch. So we'll take our broomstick, we're going to put it behind the back. The hand on top of the head is facing forward. The hand in the bottom of the back is facing backwards. And we're going to just try and bring our hands as close together as possible, gently using the pole, and find your place. If you're a super ninja yogi, you may be able to touch your hands. If you're like a lot of us, your hands aren't even close, but that's okay. You can use a belt, you can use a pole, whatever you got. And just, you can find that and you're comfortable, maybe even try to pull the shoulders back a little bit. Get a nice stretch there, that's a good stretch. And then we're going to reverse that. So we're going to switch hands. Top hand is palm forward, bottom hand is palm back. Get them as close as comfortably possible to you. Everyone's going to be different. Find your posture, and if you can, just pull your shoulders, pull your elbows back. And that really helps open things up into the very important motions of internal and external rotation. Those are really important ranges of motion for the shoulder. You don't want to lose that. And then finally, the front of the body, the pectoralis muscles, they get real tight. We use the heck out of those. So all you got to do is find a doorway in the house, put your elbows up high, lean forward into that. You may have to open the door so you can get your arms even further back. But your elbows are pretty high with this one, and you're stretching forward. You want to stretch out that chest. It's really good to loosen all this up, because we do get so tight there, we don't even know it, because everything we do is right there. So we want to get it nice and open and mobile. So that's what I've got for you guys, the CoFIT-20 shoulder class. Again, please visit our YouTube site and see what's out there. I know we kind of blazed through these exercises and there was a lot. All you're going to need to do these at home, some soup cans, cinder blocks, bricks, stretchy bands, a PVC pipe or a broomstick or a belt to do the stretches, and just some creativity to where you can get this done in the house before we get back to the gym. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call. You can call down at the office. You can give me a call personally if you want here at the office, or you can ask for any of us. You can also email us as well. All that information is on the website, and we'd be more than happy to dial you in with this stuff, or when you come in for therapy the next time, just ask. Say, hey, I saw this in the class. Can you re-explain this to me? And we'll take care of you. So thank you very much. I'm glad you guys tuned into my CoFIT-20, and we'll see you for the next one.